Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Tripura's Grammar Hub. Let's learn about direct and indirect speech. Before going to that, let us know what is speech first. When we are speaking to others, that is what is called speech. And they can also speak to us. In English, we have three persons. Who are those? First person I, second person you, and third person who is not there in the scene, that is he, she or it. Somebody told me something and they are not there in the scene and I want to express it to you. So if I say the exact words, means exactly whatever the sentence they have spoken to me, if I convey it to you, that is called as direct speech. Means I did not change anything. Exactly what third person has told, I had conveyed it to you. It is called as direct speech. And if the essence or the meaning of what the other person said, if I convey it to you, means I have changed the sentence and told on my own. That is called as indirect speech. Now, let's know more about direct speech. So, direct speech reports the direct words of the speaker. Then how can we identify direct speech? We can observe quotation marks here. One sentence would be put in the quotation marks in the direct speech. That sentence or those words represent the direct words of the speaker. And we will not change anything, we will not change the sentence, and we report the exact words of the speaker. And there would be a verb which introduces the direct words of the speaker, and that verb is called as reporting verb, which plays very important role in the direct speech. Let's see some examples. The child says, I am thirsty. So before comma we can observe says, which is the verb. And this verb which introduces the direct sentence which is there in the quotation marks, that verb is called as reporting verb. And what is the direct sentence here? I am thirsty. So whatever the child says, I am not changing it anything. I am repeating exactly what he said. I am thirsty. And I also repeated the same. Then it is called as direct speech. So we will put the exact words of the speaker inside the quotation marks. Let's see the second sentence. He will say, I know you. So what is the reporting verb here? Before comma we have will say. That means this verb is introducing the direct words of the speaker. I know you. So I know you is the direct words of the speaker. That means who told these words? He told these words. Somebody. So these are direct words which are put inside the quotation marks. I said, Ranji plays well. Here the reporting verb is said. And what I said? Ranji plays well. These are the exact words of the speaker. So I will not change anything. And I will repeat the exact sentence whatever he or she had told to me. Then it is called as direct speech. In direct speech, after the reporting verb or before the direct sentence, we put comma and start the quotation marks and follow the separate punctuation for the direct sentence. That means whatever the sentence is there inside the quotation marks, we would follow separate punctuation. That means start with the capital letter and end with the full stop, question mark or exclamation mark depending upon what kind of sentence it is. Let's know about indirect speech and how to identify indirect speech. So, speaker or the third person said to me something and I am expressing it on my own. It is called as indirect speech. I will not repeat what he or she had told. I will convey it in my own words. And we will not repeat the exact words. So, such speech is called as indirect speech. Let's see some examples. The child says that he is thirsty. We won't see any quotation marks here or reporting verb, comma, nothing. This is called indirect speech. He will say that he knows me. I said that Ranji plays well. So I am telling the same words of the speaker. Then it is called as direct speech. But if I am telling in my own words, it is called as indirect speech. Now, let's know how to convert direct speech into indirect speech. So, the first and foremost thing we have to remember while converting direct speech to indirect speech is to identify the reporting verb. So, first we have to identify the direct speech. How can I identify? If I see comma, quotation marks and a direct sentence inside the quotation marks, I can identify it as direct speech. And next step what I need to do is I have to identify the reporting verb. So here says is the reporting verb. And what we need to remember, if the reporting verb is there in the present tense or future tense, then tense of the verb inside the quotation marks, that means whatever we are saying, the direct sentence spoken by the speaker, tense of that sentence will not change. Pronouns will be changing. That means I will become he because he is saying that words. But tense of the direct sentence will not change if the reporting verb is there in present tense or in future tense. Let us see the examples here. He says, I am hungry. He says that he is hungry. I am changing I to he. Why? Because that I belongs to him. He said. But tense of the direct sentence, that means am is becoming is according to the subject he. But here the tense is not changed because the reporting verb is there in the present tense. Let's see the other example. They will say, we are busy. What is the reporting verb here? Will say. So, the tense of the sentence inside the quotation marks will not change, whereas pronoun changes. They will say that they are busy. So, I did not change the tense because the reporting verb is there in the past tense. But we, I made it as they. Why? Because that we belongs to them. Now, let us see how to convert direct speech into indirect speech when reporting verb is there in the past tense. So, first thing what we need to do? We have to identify the reporting verbs. If reporting verb is said or told or anything as such, that means that should be there in the past tense. Then these changes would occur when we are changing from direct speech to indirect speech. My becomes his or her. Mine becomes his or hers. Your becomes our. Our becomes their. Go becomes come. Bring becomes take. I becomes he or she. You becomes I or me. Me becomes him or her. Us becomes them. And you becomes we or us. So, but these changes of the pronouns also occur when the reporting verb is there in present tense or in future tense also. So the change of the pronouns would occur in the past tense, present tense and future tense also. But the change in the tense of the sentence which is there inside the quotation marks, that is the direct sentence, would occur only when reporting verb is there in the past tense. This becomes that, these becomes those, here becomes there, now becomes then, ago becomes before, thus becomes in that way. Today becomes that day, tonight becomes that night, tomorrow becomes the next day, yesterday becomes the day before, next week becomes the following week, hereby becomes thereby. Now, let us see few examples how to convert direct speech into indirect speech if the reporting verb is there in the past tense. He said, I am hungry. So, what is the reporting verb here? Said. So, now whatever it is there inside the quotation marks, whatever the sentence is there, I have to change it into past tense. So he said that he was hungry. So am is in the present tense, whereas we are changing it into past tense. He said that he was hungry. They said, we are busy. What is the reporting verb here? Said. So we have to change it into past tense. What we have to change it into past tense? The direct words of the speaker or the sentence which is there inside the quotation marks should be changed into past tense when the reporting verb is there in the past tense. They said that they were busy. Let's see a few examples how to convert direct speech into indirect speech when the reporting verb is there in the past tense. So, first one, he said, it is a good idea. So, what is the reporting verb here? Said. And what he said, it is a good idea. Said is the reporting verb. And what is the tense of the sentence which is there inside the quotation marks? It is a good idea. It is simple present tense. So, if the sentence inside the quotation marks is in the simple present tense, it would become simple past. That means he said that it was a good idea. Simple present becomes simple past. The student said, we went for an educational trip. What is the reporting verb here? Said. And what is the tense of the sentence inside the quotation marks? That is direct sentence. We went for an educational trip. It is there in the simple past tense. So if the sentence inside the quotation marks is in the simple past tense, it would become past perfect tense. The students said that they had been to an educational trip. The gardener said, I am watering the plants. What is the reporting verb here? Said. And the direct sentence is in present continuous tense. So if it is in the present continuous tense and reporting verb is there in the past tense, that would be changed into past continuous tense. That means present continuous becomes past continuous. The gardener said that he was watering the plants. And this I becomes he because it belongs to gardener. The teacher said, I have completed my explanation. What is the reporting verb here? Said. And what is the tense of the sentence inside the quotation marks? I have completed. That means it is there in the present perfect tense. The present perfect tense inside the quotation marks, that means the direct sentence, it becomes past perfect in the indirect speech. That means it would become had completed. The teacher said that she had completed her explanation. So present perfect would become past perfect in the indirect speech if the reporting verb is there in the past tense. My brother said to me, I and my friend have been working on this project for 3 years. So, what is the reporting verb here? Said. And what is the tense of the direct sentence here? I and my friends have been working. That means it is there in the present perfect continuous tense. And this will become past perfect continuous in the indirect speech. My brother told me that he and his friend had been working on the project for 3 years. Let's see few more examples. They said, we went Chennai last week. What is the reporting verb here? Said. And what is the tense of the sentence inside the quotation marks? We went to Chennai. That means it is there in the simple past tense. Simple past would become past perfect. That means they said that they had been to Chennai the previous week. Last week becomes the previous week. Ranji said to teacher, I have completed my work. What is the reporting verb here? Said. And I have completed my work is the sentence inside the quotation marks, which is there in present perfect tense. And it would become past perfect tense. That means had completed. Ranji told teacher that he had completed his work. Renu said, she is a good student. What is the reporting verb here? Said. And simple present inside the quotation marks would become simple past in the indirect speech. Renu said that she was a good student. My friend said, I will come to your house tomorrow. What is the reporting verb here? Said. And here, will in the direct speech will become would in the indirect speech. My friend said that he would come to my house the next day. Tomorrow becomes the next day. So here you need not change the tense. Will become would. Tomorrow will become the next day. When we are getting modal auxiliaries, they will change. Will becomes would, shall becomes should, may becomes might, can becomes could. But the tense will not change. Meena said, I may go to shopping today. So said is the reporting verb here, which is there in the past tense. Meena said that she might go to shopping that day. Today becomes that day. My uncle said, I can give my car to you if you really need. Said is the reporting verb here. My uncle said that he could give his car to me if I really need. I becomes he because this I belongs to my uncle. And can becomes could. And whose car it is? My uncle's car. So he could give his car to whom? To me. Give his car to me if I really need. You becomes I because he is speaking to me. The principal said all the students shall come to school next week. What is the reporting verb? Said. And we have shall, modal auxiliary here. So shall becomes should and it can become would also depending upon the context. The principal said that all the students should go to school the following week. That means it's like a compulsion. Rohan said, I shall buy a car next week. So said is the reporting verb here, but it's not like a compulsion. So we can change shall into would. If it is like an order or compulsion, shall will become should. Otherwise, it will become would. Rohan said that he would buy a car the following week. How to change interrogative sentences into indirect speech? That means someone is asking a question. That means in the direct speech, we have a question inside the quotation marks. How to change it into indirect speech? Let us see. He said to her, where do you live? First thing what we need to remember is we should not ask any questions in the indirect speech. We have to make it into normal statement or declarative sentence. And we can say asked or questioned, anything, any word like this we can use while converting interrogative sentences into indirect speech. So how can we convert here? He asked her where she lived. You becomes she. John said to me, do you play cricket? So we can use asked here. John asked me whether I played cricket. If the question inside the quotation marks is a yes or no question, that means I can answer either yes or no, then I can use whether or if to convert it into indirect speech. So John asked me whether I played cricket. Now let us see how to convert imperative sentence into indirect speech. That means the direct sentence or the sentence which is inside the quotation marks is imperative, either request, command or order. Then how to convert it into indirect speech? He said to me, please lend me your car. So what did he do? The moment we see please, we can say it is a request. So we can change like this. He requested me to lend him my car. So whom he asked? Me. Please lend me your car. So me becomes him here because that me belongs to him. And your becomes my because he had asked me. The doctor said to him, take rest. So how it is looking like? It's a advice. The doctor advised him to take rest. Now let us see how to convert exclamatory sentences into indirect speech. That means if the sentence inside the quotation marks or the direct sentence is an exclamatory sentence, how we can convert it into indirect speech. He said, may you live long. So what is the reporting verb here? Said. And may you live long is like a wish. So we can write wished here. He wished that I might live long. But we should not ask any questions or we should not put exclamatory mark or anything in the indirect speech. She said, alas, we lost the match. So she was very sad and said that they have lost the match. So what is that? That is exclaimed. She exclaimed with sorrow, with sadness. She said that they lost the match. She exclaimed with sorrow that they lost the match. So further, let us see. Thank you for watching my video.